It's great to have finally figured out what God has wanted me to do all these years. It's a really good feeling. I knew horses were a part of it, if not a big part, for obvious reasons, but I had no idea that it was gonna be like this. Now I've decided to dedicate my entire career to help rescue horses, and by rescues I mean horses who've been abused and neglected, and I really strive to help get them fundamentals in order to find a career and hopefully a forever home. And including those rescues is blind horses. I personally used to think that blind horses were just a fairy tale. In fact, I wrote a book when I was about 12 about a girl saving a blind colt and actually barrel racing him. Now I wrote that like someone were to be writing about Santa Claus, you know, kind of like, oh, hey, it's a blind horse. Because I thought, you know, who would want a blind horse? Because, you know, it's dangerous. It's like a 1,200-pound animal who can't see. So to me, I had thought blind horses were a fairy tale. Through that book, it kind of gave me a guideline. God used that book to kind of give me like a guideline and like a map through working with these blind horses, of working them on the ground, under saddle, to gain their trust and actually find a career. And so then God eventually brought me Darlin, which was my very first blind horse. And then some of you guys who follow on social media know her. And then Apollo 13, and now Theo and Jack. And you know, we're getting so much out here, so much attention now because of these blind horses. And it's not so much of like, hey, you guys are cool working with blind horses. It's like, dang, these blind horses actually can do stuff. And so that's kind of where I'm dedicating my career towards, is showing people that these blind horses still got it. Or parsley. Feed manners is number one. If he cannot be calm, good boy, cool and collected for dinner, then that can lead to some serious issues, just like with any horse. Even though he's blind, or going to be blind, that's rule number one that I do for any kind of horse. Horse with vision, horse with no vision, one especially his size. You don't want that pushing on you. With the Legends Blind Horsemanship growing so greatly over the past few years, we've been getting phone calls across literally the United States, from working with a few horses in New York to California, Georgia, Indiana, which is actually where Apollo 13 came from, Kentucky, which is where Theo came from, and you know, I'm starting to see that, you know, there's a lot more blind horses out there than I ever thought, and that I'm sure people out there, you know, the horse community ever thought as well. So I kind of felt a little overwhelmed with it, and God answered a massive prayer. So this is kind of a big exciting news, but I am now the USA representative of the Pro Blind Horse organization in Germany, which actually I'm not in Germany. I'm still in Tennessee, Spring Hill, Tennessee, but I am now the USA representative of the Pro Blind Horse organization. Now this organization is currently in Germany, and they strive to educate the horse community in Germany about blind horses, and they also rehab blind horses as well. So I spoke with them, and they want me to be the USA rep, which now means that we are actually going to be tied in under their nonprofit. So this is now taking us on an international level, and we are now actually going to be considered a nonprofit through the Legends Blind Horsemanship. So with that being said, that's also going to help allow us to take in bigger donations and further donations to help educate the community on blind horses, as well as possible surgeries for certain horses, donations as far as like supplements and vet care for these blind horses, because some of them, physically removing their eyes is a part of their future, unfortunately, and it's a pretty big vet bill. So being a part of the Pro Blind Horse, we are now able to take donations like that. But so this is kind of where you guys come into play. Legends Blind Horsemanship is starting to get pretty known, and my work with blind horses is starting to get out there. Like I said before, I'm getting quite a few phone calls about taking in blind horses and questions about blind horses. So we are actually, since we are now going to be considered a part of the nonprofit, a branch off, we are going to start asking you guys to step up and help us foster some blind horses. There will be certain details as far as cases, because there are some blind horses who just went blind and it's not safe for someone who's not familiar with them. But as far as like a horse who's been blind for a while, or a horse who needs to just gain weight and certain things like that, we would love to open up a new little program for you guys to start fostering a blind horse. And through the nonprofit, it's just going to be like any other foster program, where we pay for all of the funds, and then you just help handling. There's going to be different opportunities in this program, as far as you helping train the horse, you even possibly competing if that's something you desire, and of course if you choose to adopt the horse, certain fees will be waived or discounted, since you'll be a huge part in that. So this is just going to help us save more blind horses and give more blind horses a chance at a future and a career. Because the ultimate goal of Legends Blind Horsemanship is to not just take in all these blind horses, but to educate the owners on how to properly care for these horses and to handle them in a safe way, and a productive way for both horse and owner, to further their career. Because just because they lose their vision doesn't mean that it's the end of the road for the partnership between horse and rider. So that's the ultimate goal, is to educate you guys and the horse community. Is truly just to educate you guys about blind horses, the care, the handling, the training, and of course having them at your facility or personal farm. But if you cannot keep your horse, I do really want to at least have an option to help. So if that's something that interests you guys, for taking in a blind horse and being a foster home, then please go ahead and click the link in the post that I'll be posting on our YouTube channel, as well as our Facebook page when I post on the Facebook pages. And it's going to go further in depth on how to be a foster home. And I will be hands-on through the entire process. I won't just say, here's a horse, have at it. I will actually be out there handling. So that's the big exciting news. I'm super excited to be the USA representative, again, of the Pro Blind Horse organization. And I'm very blessed and honored, and I cannot wait to start educating the community about blind horses through our facility, through training these blind horses, and through competition. So I'm really excited. So because these horses are a true example of walking by faith and not by sight. And I'm a firm believer in that, and I cannot wait to have them pretty much demonstrate that scripture and put it into action. So thank you guys so much for your support, and I look forward to our future.